Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another How to Kill a Kit with Style layout. Haven't done a double page in a minute, so this one's exciting. This is for Tiara's summer inspiration warm-up. Gisele posted a whole bunch of sketches for us to be able to use for this challenge, and I chose this double page sketch. So this is really exciting for me because I haven't done one of these in a minute. I don't necessarily like doing double page spreads, but I felt like this one worked really well with that specific sketch, and I figured I'd switch it up a little bit, have this giant paper pad to use, and might as well do 2 pages at one time. So I'm going through the pad right now to try and figure out what I want to do. I'm kind of going to be pulling colors from that floral piece you see there, so I really want that true green and that corally color. I'm trying to save this coral polka dot that you just saw because I think that's my last sheet of that coral in this paper pad. But in the end, I suck it up and pull it out because there's not a whole lot of coral. And I was determined to use coral on this page, so I go ahead and pull it. I figure at least with it being on a double page spread, it's kind of like it's on 2 pages. That's how I'm telling myself so that I use it. But I'm going to make the large middle portion this green with the gold foil polka dot. I'm following the sketch pretty literally. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. But yes, I'm following the sketch pretty literally. I'm trying to make sure that all of my proportions are pretty accurate. I know my photos are different sizes than the ones in the sketch, so I'm accommodating a little bit for that. But as far as the layering goes, I'm pretty much just copying it. So I chose the coral to go as that big chunk at the top. I chose the floral sections of that, the florally paper for these larger pieces, and now I'm just using this stripe as a few of those kind of skinny borders. So I think that looks really cute. I'm going to get all of this piece together on this scrap piece of black paper, and then I'll go from there. But yeah, this is another page from our trail ride on Oahu, and this page is going to document all these different movie scenes that we got to see throughout the trail. I've mentioned it in a few videos before. You guys are probably tired of me hearing it, but this is where they filmed part of Jurassic World, part of Jurassic Park, Skull Island, Jumanji, a few other ones. I think 51st Dates. There's Lost. Lost is another big one if you're a fan of that TV show. So yeah, you'll see me pull kind of that in more as we get going. But yeah, I'm gonna piece together these backgrounds and we'll go from there. But I'm really liking this color scheme together. I've really been trying, as I use this paper pad, to focus on a few colors at a time so that all the pages look different and you're not seeing, I mean, I know they all look the same, it's the same collection, but at least, you know, they're not all rainbow or they're not all, you know, multicolored to where it looks like it's every single page is the same. But I'm almost done here. I'm getting those skinny strips down, and then I do need a scallopy layer for that bottom section. I'm not quite sure what pattern I'm going to use at first because I wanted it to be a separate pattern than the ones I already have. But then I realized that this floral piece, the middle section, is mostly pink, whereas the section I used above was mostly floral. So I figured I could get away with using that as that layer as well. And I'm just using one of my border punches to punch that scallop. So it's not the same as the scallop in the sketch, but it still gives you that decorative edge, which I think is really cool. There we go. I'm trying to keep both these pages in frame as much as possible, but I know they go a little bit wonky, so sorry about that. But I'm going to line my photos up pretty much how it is in the sketch. I'm just making that large section on that right page into my vertical photo area. And then Ronnie, along with all the other amazing little die cuts she sent me these little film strip die cuts, which were so perfect. I couldn't believe it. I was like, these are going on here for sure. And so what I ended up doing was making a photo collage with scenes from all of these different movies that this landscape is a part of. So there's multiple, you know, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, there's a few Jumanji, there's the Skull Island photos, just so you could see this landscape in the movie it was a part of, so you can kind of connect the dots more. I think that'll be really fun to look back on and be like, oh yeah, this is from that. So it takes me a minute to cut all those apart and get them pieced within that movie strip, but I think that's a really cool way to literally use that film strip as these little images. So I'm gonna get all of those glued down, but just to go through the photos really quick, that one on the left, you see me riding my horse hula. He was wonderful. I'm obsessed with him. I wanted to take him home really badly. That mountain you see straight ahead on the photo on the left there, that is the volcano from from Jurassic World. It's just a mountain in real life. It's not an actual volcano. But if you saw that most recent movie where that volcano erupted, that is that volcano. It also appears in Lost, 50 First Dates. I'm not sure what all movies that one is in, but it's super iconic. To the right there, you see it looks like a big mud puddle to the right of the path. That is one of, what's his name? I didn't see the movie, so I'm not even familiar. The giant gorilla, guys. Why can't I think of this? King Kong? I don't know. Giant gorilla movie, Skull Island, the newish one that came out last year. That's his footprint from that movie. That's the photo to the left in the film strip. It looks like it's on a sandy beach. They said that they CGI'd out all of the grass, but that is the actual footprint from that movie. They had to fill it in a little bit. Apparently it was really deep for filming, but there are cows that roam these pasture areas during certain parts of the year, and they would get trapped in these giant footprint holes. So they had to fill in the holes a little bit so that cows would stop getting trapped in them. So that's that one. That photo to the right is another set from Lost. That's where Hurley made the golf course. And so they even still have the little flag that Hurley put in there. And then you see that little sign where it's kind of documenting that that's where that scene is from. Also super iconic. That's in a few of those scenes above in those movie strips. And then the two photos to the right is the Kong Skull Island landscape where they have the boneyard basically, and there's a few photos from that scene as well up in the film strip. So I thought that was a really cool way to kind of do this page. I was really excited when I saw those film strips. When I first saw them, I got really excited, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use them. And then I got to this page and I was like, it was meant to be. Ronnie knew before I knew. But I decided to pull in another photo mat for this vertical photo. I figured it's kind of already special. It's already supposed to be in the sketch, like a different kind of main portion of the page. So I decided I would do this big flamingo mat purely because it matched my color scheme. And then I just stretched that to both sides, kind of like it is in the sketch. And then the pink I matted my photo on is the center from that floral piece that I've been using here and there for strips. So it blended into the same pink as that flamingo paper, and it was really bothering me that you couldn't tell it was a separate mat. So I did go back with some kind of aqua minty ink and inked around the edge of that pink so that you could distinguish it from the background. And I think that little bit of detail really makes a difference as far as my layering. So all my paper layers are down. Now I'm trying to figure out where to embellish. There's a few areas of embellishment on the sketch. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do it the same as them or kind of just do what I want. I do end up working to the right of this vertical photo instead of to the left. I really have a difficult time doing embellishment clusters across the seam of a double page spread. I'd rather them be, it looks nice because it brings the two pages together, but I'd rather them be, within a whole page just for stability reasons. So I moved that cluster to the right, so you see me kind of building a few things there. I kind of get stuck for a second, so I do go ahead and put my title down. I'm just calling this Movies. I wish I came up with a more original title, but it fit really well, and that thicker set has all those little stars on them, and I figured I could pull those stars into multiple areas as embellishment, especially because it is about movies, and I just thought stars were appropriate. So I like how this is looking, though, with this little leafy thing, the tag. I'm just trying to go back and forth for a minute to kind of figure out what I want in this cluster. I know for sure I want the leafy, leaf and the tag. I just know I want more than that, so it just takes me a minute. And then I realized, well, I could put a doily behind there because I like doing that. So I had this little scrap I tuck in behind there. I really like how that looks. It just takes a minute for me to kind of figure out everything. This pineapple was actually from an On Trend 2 collection. There's like 1,000 pineapples in the Palm Beach collection, but for whatever reason, I really liked this pineapple from On Trend 2, so I went ahead and pulled it in. It had that corally color and that true green that I'm using anyways, whereas the pineapples in this collection, they're either gold foil or they're like yellow. They're like the yellow pineapples, so that's kind of why I went with that. And then I wanted another doily somewhere else to balance that one. So I figured I would kind of stretch this across both sides just because I figured that was an easy thing to stretch without it falling apart. So that's going around that corner to kind of emphasize where the title is. And then I don't think it's until the end, but I do throw some more of those stars up there as well. And now I'm trying to work on a separate embellishment cluster. I want another cluster on this left-hand page. Most of the action so far is on this right-hand page. I'm thinking about doing it down the lower left of the vertical picture. But it was all clustered around that area, and I really felt like the left side of the page was naked, so I scooched that all the way over to the left, and I do my cluster there instead, and I really end up liking that better. So again, I use this same floral. I throw in a tag from On Trend 2, this vacation from Palm Beach, and then I do want a little bit more than that, you'll see after I get this glued down, so I do go back and use a scalloped circle punch, and I punch a little bit from this pink scrap I have here and tuck that in behind the tag just to add a little bit more. I love on my embellishment clusters just layering little things like that. It makes a big difference. And then I go back with this thicker sheet and all these little stars and scatter them everywhere because why not? So I think I'm almost done here. I don't do any journaling. I feel like once you realize what those little photos are, it kind of speaks for itself. I do add some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. Of course, I've been doing that a lot for these vacation photos. But here are the close-ups, so you'll get to see these smaller photos in more detail. But I really like how this one turned out. I'm glad I got another double page done. I really haven't done one in a really long time, so I was really happy when I saw that sketch and it spoke to me. So thank you so much, Gisele. Then you can see a few of those photos. Oh, I love it. I love how that turned out. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. Bye.